Hey guys, I'm Geoff Fienberg, back with you for oddschecker.com, here to break down my prop picks for PGA Tour CJ Cup at Shadow Creek this week for oddschecker.com/US. Again, my outright picks video is in the feed. If you missed it yesterday when it dropped, just go check it out or hit the sub button, and so they'll drop right into your feed each and every week. The outright pick, the props picks, and even later in the week, I do an NFL DFS slate for oddschecker.com. Again, since I recorded yesterday, lots has happened. Presumably the fact that the favorite in the field, Dustin Johnson, has withdrawn with COVID. I mean, I guess props to the on-site testing, and let's just get through this DJ. And after the Zozo next week, I suspect players to go into a bubble because no one wants to be Scotty Scheffler and take that test the week before the Masters, therefore not being allowed to play in the Masters. So that will be real. And when I got the Dustin news, my first instinct was, whoa, happy that video got out, happy if people watched it early, happy we were able to get some bets in. Not much really changed. Maybe the very top of the board altered a little, but most guys' odds don't really change. Instead of having to beat Dustin, Rahm, Justin, Rory, Wolf, Cantley, Morikawa, Xander, they'll have to beat all those guys minus Dustin. Still pretty hard. But happy we got the bets in, because some numbers, I guess, did drop. Still using that odds checker grid will get us the best number. I'll try to keep our hands away. Keep the hands down. But did more reading up on Shadow Creek, a great article by Stephen Hennessy over at golfchannel.com. Sort of brought us behind the wall to Shadow Creek. And my absolute favorite thing is the aerial photo of this place, smack dab in the desert. And it looks like a Virginia Carolinas retreat. It is remarkable. And then to continue the reading, you knew not many people got to play on this course. And then to find out they let 2 or 3 foursomes out a day. And you have to be staying at like high-end MGM resorts, and the only way to get there is by limo, chauffeur, whatever. Again, as we went into it yesterday, watch the video if you haven't, so you'll get my outright picks. It's really become just a status course, a status symbol in American golf. If you're able to play Shadow Creek, you must be somebody, or know somebody, or lose a lot of money at the casinos. Let's go. Props. Normally, I've got a slew. I add an outright here with the props. I'm not going to do that today. I'll probably regret it. Maybe later I'll give you the names that I contemplated for that spot. Probably best I don't, for my own peace of mind, and not verbalize them. Again, I'm just really don't like going to places I don't know the winning score, don't really know what to expect, don't know how it's going to play, don't know. You know, we got 5, 10, handful of years at a course. If I'm not betting a favorite, I can expect how big of an ask it is for a guy who isn't like a super elite to pull it off. Here, I got no clue. Maybe the back of the board is the way to go, as all these big boys are just in Masters prep. But the pay is so big. The pay is so big here that I don't care. You get off to a good start, your wife's going to tell you what first place is, and you're going to be giving her. All right, time for the milk. Paul Casey, top 10, plus 500, using that odds checker grid. I believe this one's available over at FanDuel using that odds checker grid. I'm seeing some 350s out there. Let's not forget, guys, no cut event. We got like 70 players in the field. A couple of them are some like Asian tour guys who CJ Cup have given spots to. Fair, whatever. But still, no cut event. Top 10, Paul Casey, plus 500. He's getting the Louis Oosthuizen spot. Might really regret this. this week. You know, I love betting those Louis top 10s at WGC's majors, and he cashes them like at a crazy rate. Paul Casey top 10s. As mentioned yesterday in the video, in my continued reading, this place really feels like it's been plucked off of, out of like ACC country. The Carolinas, Virginias, Appalachians, water, trees. I don't know. So maybe the angle to go is like, who plays great out there on those courses? And the answer would be Paul Casey. 3 top 5s and 3 top 15s in North Carolina in his last 8 starts. He plays well at the Masters. He's won the Valspar, which even Florida golfers acknowledge this one feels like it's should be about 6 hours up the coast. So, yeah, Paul Casey's got great altitude results in Europe and a quality bunch of results in the WGC that's been in Mexico the last 3 or 4 years. So there's a lot of angles in trying to juggle how this sucker might work. And Paul Casey checks a lot of boxes. A player that we don't necessarily love his win equity. Although I'm a big Paul Casey believer. I feel like he's... underrated in many ways, but he doesn't win a lot. That's about it. There's lots of great ball strikers on tour. You gotta win trophies. Taking the Louis spot. Feel good about it. Almost put Casey on the card. Like usually sometimes the guys that I condone for these props, sometimes I talk myself into thinking they can win. Paul Casey, top 10 plus 500. Keeping it here in the top 10s. Again, I mentioned no cut event, small field, so we're getting squeezed a little, but let's try to find it. Gary Woodland, top 10, another plus 500. I'm certain this one was over at Bet365. There are plus 450s available on that as well. Sorry, I should have closed that blind beside me. I'm a straight amateur, but this will be the last video. And I'll like be cooking something up in the next day. A little sharper behind the scenes. Breaking out a hammer. Usually pay people to do that. Woodland, top 10, plus 500. Again, you know, we made that case with Casey in the Carolinas and all that stuff and his great track record there, and a lot of people that have been here compare to that. Well, with Woodland, I'm taking a bit of a different approach in reading up on him. He's won the Barracuda in Las Vegas. He's won... in Arizona, the Waste Management, and he's won in Pebble Beach, sort of like Patrick Cantley, an incredible California, West Coast, desert West Coast golfer. Gary Woodland, also great little history at starting off well. Disappearing for a few, disappearing. There hasn't been events maybe worthy of Woodland playing. Played the US Open, had to defend his title. You know, whatever. That is what it is. But a little getaway for Woodland, and he always seems to return recharged to action. So I like Gary in this spot. Plus 500. Again, another guy I thought about betting. You want all the guys I thought about betting? You want them? Here's the deal. You hit that like button, I'll tell you. You hit it? Okay, deal. So obviously Woodland and Casey I thought about betting because I made props on them to get top 10s. And the other guy, Scheffler, we're on him last week. Now it's a bit of a higher number. I still think it should set up really well for him. Neiman, we're on him last week. If this turns into a bit of a ball striker, a guy going to stick it to 4 feet for 4 days, I actually think he could be right into that sucker. Louis. I'm always tempted by Louis. An answer. Great little desert golfer, great little run last week. Saw lots of people cash not only the prop I gave on answer, but you played, as I recommended but didn't do myself, the 66-1 on answer last week at Bet365 allowed for exponentially more advantageous each way or prop opportunities, and a lot of you showed me you're winning answer money that way. I actually saw a road where he could have won that sucker, but made a lot of double bogeys. Still finished top 5. Answer. There. So you got those names. I just gave you the names. I know that's a lot of names. You do what you want with it. I'm choosing to bet none of them. But sometimes people want to know what just missed being talked about Fienberg. So those are those names. You could do what you want with them. So far, I've given you that Woodland top 10, that Casey top 10. Patrick Cantley won me a head-to-head matchup last week. I'm going to go right back to him. Taking on the big man, the big bad wolf. Maybe a risky proposition. It's -110 both sides. Patrick Cantley to beat Matthew Wolf this week in a 72-hole tournament matchup. No cut there. That could be it. Yeah. That is it. That is it. Sung J M, top 20. Bet 365. You'd think I would have written what the odd was down on my note, but I didn't. So Sung JM, check the... It's a short number, but I liked it enough that I'm doing it for a unit and a half. Third in ball striking last week. I glowed about Sung J in the outright video. Small field, no cut, Sung J in form. I don't want to use a two-word term that my friend Tim Andercust uses to curse things. But I feel this one is pretty close to how he describes bets he really likes. But I'm way too smart to use that two-word term. Because nothing is free. But Sung JM, top 20 over at Bet 365. I thought, considering the circumstances of the week and his form, that would be a very easy bet. Probably be at least a unit and a half for me. Check the written word below. I'll give you the exact unit stake on the week. I'm Geoff Fienberg. Happy we could have a little fun talking some CJ Cup. I'm not going to lie. I didn't know how we would put it together. I'm really turned off by betting the CJ Cup in some ways, even though I love to bet golf and I'm going to bet golf. And as you've seen, I got an outright card and a props card. So we're betting lots of golf. But I'm excited to go inside Shadow Creek for 4 days. I'm just a golf nerd like that. And yeah, we got to look during that Tiger Phil thing. But just learning more about the course. I'm excited to even go inside the fourth wall even more there for Shadow Creek this week. I'm Geoff Fienberg. Keep an eye for the NFL DFS slate video I'll be doing later in the week. Hit the like. Give me a sub so they'll drop right into your feed. And comment. Tell me which props of mine you hate. Tell me which props of mine you like. That's it. That's all. Hopefully we can catch a winner on the links this week, guys. All the best. Promise I'd stop saying those all the bests. Let's try that again. I'm Geoff Fienberg. I'm out. Let's hit some winners.